Peace and love, everybody. What is up? All right, so I was thinking about something that I didn't really previously give any kind of credence to, as far as a particular fight that is coming up. But after some observation, I had a little bit of clarity about the severity of this particular matchup, and I wanted to show two distinctive reasons or causes for why this particular fight deserved to be also included in my analysis. Actually, there are myriad causes and reasons, but I'll just start with this. There are two upcoming fights that stand to set a sort of precedence, I would say, a sort of precedence moving forward as far as the rest of the year's roster in the boxing world. Okay, two fights that will set off into motion a precedence, a wave, a reverberation that will impact boxing as a whole. Two upcoming fights. And these two fights play a key role in the movement and unfolding of not one, not two, but four of the most talked about divisions in boxing right now. So these fights will affect four different divisions. The effect of it will impact four divisions as a whole, these two fights. The first fight is a fight that I didn't necessarily care, I guess, too much about the going into it, the flow of it, the energy of it, or even the meaning and significance of it initially, until the recent mandate made by Terrence Crawford to interject into the scene of this particular fight, right? And that fight is, of course, I'm referring to Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora this Saturday, tomorrow, okay? That fight. Now, this is a major one because it will align the pound-for-pound king, Terrence Crawford, with the winner of this bout. As we spoke about previously, I touched on it in a previous video, okay? So it'll put him in the midst of this, and it will set into motion what seems to be the play of Bud Crawford, which is to aim for undisputed in his third weight division. Now, whomever wins this matchup will play an epic role in his attainment toward that vision. So whoever's the victor tomorrow is going to play a major role, an epic role, as far as his accessibility to that vision that he has to become undisputed. Also amid the possibilities is the much anticipated return of Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Okay, now his entry into this scene is an epic one because he is claiming his territory. And something really, really interesting happened. I'm not sure if you guys caught this the other day, but Errol recently posted and made it extremely clear that he is heading over to Vegas to be in attendance for this fight tomorrow. And not only will he be there, but he wants the head of the winner. How gangsta is that? EJ is on demon time, and I love it. I love every bit of it. He woke up out of whatever, daydream life he's been living and vacationing and taking, time with his family and recovering and stuff like that. And the beast just was like, okay, enough of that. I'm going to motherfucking Vegas. Okay. And I love it. I love seeing him claim his motherfucking spot. That's what I like to see, EJ. Let's go, champ. So yes, he's definitely on demon time with that. And another thing that's interesting about his interjection into this conversation is that, of course, I'm sure that he's well aware of Bud's plans to, he activated the mandatory. That is official. He is awaiting the winner of tomorrow's fight. And of course, EJ is very much aware of that. And he don't give a motherfucking fuck. Okay? He's like, okay, and I know what you said, but this is what I'm doing. I want the head of the winner, which is absolutely fabulous. I'm super, super excited to see that. Okay? Things are definitely getting spicy. He has his own intentions, and he is in no way moved at all by what Bud is trying to do. He gives no fucks. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I want the winner. I know what you want, but this is what I want. So things are looking spicy, and the sauce is on Zach. Okay. So these two giants entering into the super welterweight division, okay, inevitably affects the welterweight division just below them, okay? So this is where the reverberation starts happening. It's not only effectual where they are, but the surrounding elements will be affected as well. So they're in super welterweight at 154, and now the reverberation will be felt by the division of the welterweight just beneath them, and that is in the way that it will allow who I would say is now the most notable figure, and definitely the most talented at 147 right now, Jaron Boots Ennis. It's going to allow him to settle the score that he has with his fellow contenders at 147, and it will give him the wide open field advantage to claim the heads of his competitors so that he can become undisputed at 147 sooner rather than later, which is exactly what I am all for seeing happen, okay? The floor is absolutely available to him to traverse as he pleases. And that is, of course, predicated upon if the politics don't get in the way, okay? Because we already know that he had his lawsuit and stuff like that happening. I heard some reports that has been settled or whatever. I'm not sure how valid that is, but hopefully he has that cleared up and stuff like that. And there are no further politics or anything that would kind of block him from moving forward with that. But I would like to think that he can certainly do this, and to do it with not much pushback at all, and so that he can soon make his way up. Once he does that and accomplishes what I'm hoping to be undisputed for him at 147, that he can then make his way on up to 154 so that we can finally see the tension play out with him and the two men that we all want to see him in do battle with, honey, and that is EJ and Bud and Boots. Hands down. That's the holy trinity that we want to see go head to head with each other. So hopefully that is on the horizon sooner rather than later with Boots taking over 147. Okay. Now, lastly, and certainly not in any way the least, this fight and the spotlight happens to me, at least, to be leading the trajectory of boxing, okay? And will offset a lot of the motion that we will see play out for the rest of the year, and that is the fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, okay? Now, this fight seeks to solidify and certify Devin, the Dream Haney, as the face of the 140 division, okay? Devin Haney winning this fight on April 20th puts him in line to fight some major heavy hitters, okay? I'm talking Subriel Matias, who the world over has been, postulating for and making claims for, trying to see these two men go head to head. Well, it's looking like that is definitely more probable than we thought previously, because as we know, Matias has recently signed a deal with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, okay? And that was a super smart play on his part, because it's making a fight with Devin Haney more attainable and more probable than ever before. So that alignment is due, okay? So Devin will also be aligned with Teofimo Lopez, and they've got a matchup, real talk, that has been long overdue. T.O. and Devin. I'd love to actually see that fight materialize sometime this year, maybe by the end of the year. I'd love to see Devin knock that man out of the park because it's definitely overdue. There's also Josh Taylor, okay, in line. We got Gary Antoine Russell, okay. These are all fights for Devin, so it is looking thick out here. And guess what? It's especially thick since Devin recently made it known that he is now focused on becoming unmotherfucking disputed at 140. Okay? Let's go, Devin. That's the type of champ talk I want to hear. Okay? He said that he wasn't previously aiming for that particularly. It wasn't really on his mind. He just wanted to, make the best fights. But that now his objective is undisputed at 140, which is fabulous. Fabulous. Okay? I love that. So 140 is definitely in major trouble with this new development on the rise from Devin Haney. Huge fights are on the horizon at 140 in general, and it's making the division rife and replete with potential and excitement. Now, the bout between Devin and Ryan coming up next month, like that of the Tim Tszyu Fondora fight, now this also is giving its own reverberation to the preceding division, or the division right underneath them, and that will be the 135 lightweight division. Okay, so the effects are trickling down in this instance too, where 135 will definitely feel the effects of that coming fight on April 20th. Tank Davis and Frank Martin are alleged, I say alleged at this point, right? Because we still haven't heard anything. They're alleged to have their head-to-head on June 15th. As we know, the date hasn't been confirmed by any party, by their teams, nothing like that, which is definitely odd as hell. I don't know what the damn holdup is. We are coming into April in a few days, and there has been no announcement about the outset of that fight. But anyway, should Devin win in spectacular fashion against Ryan Garcia next month, the pressure will definitely be heavily applied to Tank Davis, as the world is waiting in eagerness to see what he will do with the likes of Frank the Ghost Martin. Okay? That's a big deal now, because Frank has definitely and certainly made it clear that he is coming to win and win only when they meet. He's definitely took his claim and staked his claim to that. So that's going to be interesting, and the pressure is definitely riding on Tank Davis after April 20th, especially if Devin does the deal in a demolishing fashion, which I expect him to do. Okay. 135 also houses Lomachenko. He has a fight nearing, I believe, in May with George Kambosos. I don't believe too much pressure is being applied to that particular fight, but the reverberation is still going to be felt there, because the victor of that fight will certainly be in line, I presume at least, to face possibly the winner of the Tank and Martin bout, more than likely. Shakur Stevenson has his fight date set for sometime in July. And, this is basically a test. This will test the self-proclaimed greatness of Shakur Stevenson. And he will have to redeem, of course, his credibility with his fans and with boxing enthusiasts in general after his last performance. So he has a lot to prove and a lot at stake as well. And the pressure is riding on him as well with this fight next month between Devin and Ryan, because once again, just like in Tank Davis' situation, Devin's win, and a dominant win, will definitely put pressure that will be riding on the shoulders of Shakur Stevenson for him to show up in impressive fashion as well this summer when his fight commences, okay? And should he win his fight, Shakur Stevenson, in July, will this finally give him the courage to put a hit out on Lomachenko if Lomachenko were to win against Kambosos? Because he's been mighty quiet about Mr. Lomachenko. Shakur has said not one word about him, just like he hasn't said anything about Tank. And if Tank is successful against Frank, is that going to give Shakur Stevenson the balls, the wherewithal to say his name finally? Okay? Now, if Tank is unsuccessful against Frank Martin, can we expect a Frank Martin and Shakur bout at the end of the year? Possibly. I don't know. The pressure is certainly on, okay? Shakur has also mentioned, interestingly enough, that I'm not sure if you guys recall that, but he has mentioned multiple times that he would entertain the possibility of moving up. Of course, he, tried to, throw a fake-ass smoke alarm at Devin Haney, of course, who's at 140 and stuff like that, and said that he would fight Matias and all these people at 140. So he's obviously has his eye on there still. So my question is, will he bypass the likes of Lomachenko, Frank Martin, Tank Davis, all these people here, and the winners of those upcoming matches? Will he bypass those elite around him and try to take a bite of the 140 pie and eat alongside the big boys at 140? I don't know. It's an interesting question. And all of this is riding on the outcomes of these bouts. But a substantial number of men, a substantial number of men will be directly impacted by the fights of 4 men. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. Those 4 men. Everything that unfolds between this Saturday, tomorrow, and April 20th will be the spark, to me at least, that determines the storyline, the motives, the heart, the tenacity, the mobility of the fighters and of the sport by the close of the year. All will be affected by these fights. Who is going to show and prove? Who's going to disappoint? Who is ready? Who is just talking and twittering? We stand to see all this and more very, 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 very soon indeed. And I cannot wait. Anyway, enough of my rambling, y'all. I'm on to the next piece.